Hey there, I'm Tyler. I like to think of myself as a pretty normal guy, you know? Skateboarding, sports, video games, but don't ask me why. For some reason, I always need to take things up a notch. In fact, I used to be the class clown. I guess that's why I love a good prank. Pranks are just harmless fun, right? That's what I always thought. Until last summer. This is the story of how it all went wrong. So, like I said, I've always been into pranks. Clingwrap on the toilet seat, that kind of thing. A lot of people told me I wasn't funny and needed to grow up, but I'm pretty sure they were just mad that they fell for my tricks. I loved being that funny guy. I mean, really, what's the point of taking life seriously? Anyway, there was this mean old man who lived 3 houses down from ours. He'd glare at me whenever I walked our dog past his house, and he got mad whenever people parked their cars outside of his house. So I wanted to mess with him a little bit. I told my friends Liam and Jake, and they agreed to help me. After brainstorming for a while, we came up with the perfect plan. We were gonna wait until it was dark, then sneak out and egg his house. Trust me, it's a classic prank for a reason. It's fun, it's anonymous, and it's a massive mess for them to clean up. So Friday night comes along. Liam and Jake are over, and we're just hanging out, playing video games, and eating pizza. We'd already cracked open a few Monster Energy drinks, so we're feeling pretty pumped by the time midnight rolls around. That was the time we decided to kick our plan into action. My room has a big old window that you can push all the way open, so it's easy to climb out onto the garage, then jump into the front garden. We're all wearing beanies and sunglasses, thinking that they're a great disguise. So one by one, we drop out of my window, then onto the ground. I'm last, so picture me dropping all these cartons of eggs we'd brought down that day to Liam and Jake. They didn't drop a single one. We make our way to our target. There's a fence around his garden, which makes it hard to throw the eggs over the fence and hit the house. So, plan B. Let's climb this tree that overlooks his garden to get a better shot. We left Jake on the ground to keep watch and warn us if anyone was coming. At the house, all the curtains are closed. The old guy must be sleeping. Holding as many eggs as we can, Liam and I take aim and open fire. It's amazing! The eggs are exploding against the windows and walls like fireworks. Splat, splat, splat! Some of Liam's miss and roll into the garden, but mine hit perfectly. We keep on throwing and are done with our first carton when suddenly a light turns on and we hear someone yelling. "He's awake!" I scream at Jake, and we're all getting ready to run for it. But we wanted to throw as many eggs as we could first, so here I am, leaning forward on this branch to get a better angle. I can already hear the guy running through the house, and then I hear a dog barking. My memory after that is pretty blurry. I remember the guy standing at his door and his dog running out into the garden. A dog? I hadn't even known he had a dog. He must have mostly kept him indoors or in the back garden or something. I'm trying to push myself up and make a run for it, but the branch I'm leaning on snaps, and I fall probably 6 feet into the garden. That dog must have thought I was a criminal dropping out of the sky, so he jumps me before I can even move. The dog bites my leg, my arms, and anything else he can get a hold of. No matter what I try, I can't push him away. Finally, the old man grabs the dog, and I vaguely remember hearing Liam or Jake or maybe someone else scream. All I remember after that is looking down at my leg and seeing a lot of blood, and then passing out. When I wake up, I'm in the hospital. My mom tells me what happened, and she is pissed. The bite to my leg is crazy deep, and I lost enough blood that I fainted, not to mention the hit to my head from falling out of the tree. I needed a blood transfusion because I lost so much blood. The old man had called an ambulance and waited with me until it came. Turns out, the dog was a foster dog and used to be a guard dog, which is why he'd gotten so aggressive. And it was also why the old man had gotten upset when we walked our dog so close to his house. Now, because he'd attacked a person, the dog had to be put to sleep. I tried to argue about that. He was just trying to protect his owner, and I'd been in the yard. But Mom said it was just the law, and there was nothing I could do. I was in the hospital for 4 days, and I had a massive bandage on my leg for weeks. My mom ended up not punishing me because I was so upset about that poor dog getting put to sleep. Plus, of course, all the pain in my leg. She thought that was punishment enough, and I agreed. She wanted me to go back and talk to the old man when I got better. I was scared about that. I knew he'd be angry at me, but it turned out I didn't even have to go and apologize to him. He came to see me. I told him I was sorry over and over again, but he said that he did stupid things like that when he was young too. He was pretty sad about his dog, fair enough, but he wasn't angry at me. My mom ended up telling him that when our dog's puppies were due in a month, he could have one of them for free. At first, he didn't want one, but after some convincing, he said he'd actually be happy to have a new dog. The old man's name is Mr. Mackenzie, and he took the runt of our dog's litter. She's a little white puppy, and he named her Lucy. I go and visit them once a week or so and do some chores around his garden. I figure that's the least I can do. I feel really lucky that Mr. Mackenzie forgave me for the prank I pulled. Fortunately, he seemed to understand that I hadn't meant any harm. So, there you have it. The story of how I almost died from pulling a prank on my neighbor. And he wasn't nearly as mean as I thought. So now, I've decided to try and cool it with the pranks for a while. Have you ever had a practical joke that went wrong? What happened? Share your stories in the comments and make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching my story.